What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. Also, you guys hear me talk a lot about my Glance LED. Some people ask me, how live is the live data when it comes to the Glance? Well, here is an image from today's game, not only on my TV, but also on my Glance. And as you can see, live really does mean live. This is a unit that has no subscription fee. You plug it in, you tell it what you want to see. In my case, it was Major League Baseball, but NBA, when it returns NFL, NCAA, NASCAR, UFC. If you don't want to follow sports that day, weather, stocks, news, everything there at a glance. And you can buy the unit, and if you don't like it, contact them. They've got a hassle-free return policy. You have really nothing to lose, but everything to gain, and how it is going to change the way you watch sports, the way you play video games, the way you stay up to date on the things you care about at a glance. So obviously, whenever you talk about Baltimore and Pittsburgh, it's a rivalry game. Both teams, though, today, at least offensively, started a little bit slow. Ryan Mountcastle, Ke'Bryan Hayes, the sole base hits for their teams until the third, when a Gunnar Henderson error allowed Triolo to get on base. And that set up a very crazy sequence of what first seemed like an O'Neill Cruz home run. It bounces off the wall. Santander doesn't really chase it down the way he should have. Cedric Mullins does. He then turns a perfect throw to Jorge Mateo, who turns a perfect throw to James McCann that gets Triolo out at the plate and kept Pittsburgh off the board. The inning is followed by 3 straight hits from Rutschman, Mountcastle, Santander that allowed Baltimore to get out to a 2-0 lead. In the fifth, a lot of emphasis on Connor Joe, who makes an impressive catch on a deep shot from James McCann, kind of up against the wall in the shade, and then immediately gets hit back to Jorge Mateo, where he kind of botches the ball and allows Jorge to leg out a triple. However, fielding wasn't really the best for these guys today. Now, I will say at times the Orioles look solid. Mateo had a pretty decent game, all things considered. The pitching for Pittsburgh was great. 77 pitches by Gonzalez, 54 strikeouts, no walks. Dean Kramer looks great for the Orioles as well. 7 innings, 5 hits. Gives himself 11 strikeouts on the year with 1 walk to start the season. It's probably, from a pitching perspective, including Corbin Burns, the best we've seen an Oriole pitcher look all year. Keegan Aiken came in relief, made quick work of the Pirates lineup. Hernandez would give up a base hit to Mountcastle early. Westberg nearly put a ball out. And then the game came down to Yennier Cano, who's been obviously one of the better, more consistent closers, an all-star last year. And things just started to unravel. He gave up a pair of hits. Ke'Bryan Hayes got to third. Connor Joe has the bases loaded. And essentially what it comes down to is what could have been a game-winning double play by Gunnar Henderson was a beautiful kind of diving catch, slide in to touch the base, but then the throw to first base, it just wasn't there. It was a little bit wide of Mountcastle. It's the way things go. You know, you can't have one player do everything, offensively or defensively, and you had, team letdowns on both sides of the ball. Again, Austin Hayes really didn't have a very productive day today. The pitching, as far as the bullpen, until now, has been really good. So you really can't even get down on the bullpen. These are just things that happened. And honestly, another 1.5 foot, this would have been a game-ending double play by Gunnar Henderson, who, as I would say, this series really did kind of struggle at the plate a little bit as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back. They've got a day off. They're going to take the trip over to Boston and play the Red Sox, another rivalry, of course. Not so much a city rivalry, but a rivalry nonetheless. And hopefully they can get back on track. This is, as I mentioned yesterday, one of the first losing series they've had in a while. First losing series of the year. And listen, if you go up to Fenway and you drop games there, you're going to go under 500, and that is not what the expectation was for this team headed into this season. The Orioles have kind of bought in, not just with Corbin Burns, but they're going out. They're basically, from what I can see, doing a docu-series on every series they play. If you go over to their YouTube page, they put together a really, really cool piece about this. But It's going to look awful strange if all of this is for what ultimately becomes a subpar losing season. I appreciate you guys watching this video. I would love to know your thoughts on it. I will be back soon as I can with more commentary.